Hello and welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this show we take a look at the latest releases. Well, this week there are a couple of big films. One is Ranbir Kapoor's Animal and the other is Vicky Kaushal's Sam Bahadur. First, let's take a look at Sam Bahadur. Now first things first. Even though Hindi cinema has made quite a few biopics, there are less than a handful memorable ones. Some have achieved box office success, but creatively there aren't too many to write home about. Meghna Gulzar's Sam Bahadur is a film that ticks the boxes as far as biopics are concerned, and it is also a commendably made film in all departments. It is Vicky Kaushal who hits it out of the park, and how, with his performance as Sam Manekshaw, India's first field marshal. His physical demeanor and mannerisms are unique. The average person doesn't know how the late army leader spoke and what his traits were, but Kaushal has nailed this in style and given that extra edge to his character. Take the last shot in the film for instance, when his eyes wander and finally he looks into the camera as he smiles, and then the end credits roll. Just that gaze sums up his terrific performance. Sam Bahadur also works because it doesn't over-dramatize the story, which has been the bane of several biopics. There is enough inbuilt drama in the incident and life of the characters, so there is no need to Bollywoodize it. The film chronicles the life of Sam Manekshaw, played by Vicky Kaushal, and Manekshaw is perhaps India's best-known army man. The story cuts to the chase fairly quickly. There are no childhood stories as we see a young Sam in the army straight away, and this was in the 1930s. As a soldier in British India, he fought against the Japanese in World War II, but the film moves into top gear and stays there post-1947, that's post-independence. The Kashmir problem, the China war, the Bangladesh and Pakistan war, they are all integrated seamlessly and well dramatized as a history lesson, and it is also fine storytelling. At one point, Manekshaw was also accused of being anti-national, and there was a court of inquiry against him. With a certain grace that her character deserves, Sania Malhotra plays Silu, that is Manekshaw's wife. Sardar Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru here is played by Neeraj Kavi, and Indira Gandhi, played by Fatima Sana Sheikh, have a role to play in the scheme of things, and both the ladies in the film are impressive in their own right. What also works in favor of the film is the writing and the direction. It never goes overboard or underplays any scene, even though the film clocks a good 150 minutes. There is some patriotic singing that happens over a few war scenes towards the end, but even that is fairly restrained. When Manekshaw passed away in 2008, his last words were, "I'm okay." Well, let me tell you, the film is more than just okay, and I'm going to go with 3.5 out of 5 stars for Sam Bahadur. And now let's take a look at Ranbir Kapoor's Animal. Now, Animal is about a man who has daddy issues along with another truckload of other issues. To think of it, almost every character in the film has so many issues that they are in dire need of a shrink. Nothing wrong with that bit, except director Sandeep Reddy Vanga glorifies and normalizes the behavior of his central character, where you are either mocking, laughing, or just staring at the screen in disbelief. The hero here is a vengeful man. He has long hair and a big beard. He smokes like a chimney and behaves like a complete jerk. But he still has all the sympathy of the writer, director and editor. In this case, it is Sandeep Vanga, who also made Kabir Singh. Also, if all the cigarettes used in this film were piled up and used to fire up an old steam engine, it would probably match the speed of Vande Bharat. There is so much smoking in this movie. In the first couple of scenes, it is obvious that Ranvijay Singh, played by Ranbir Kapoor, has daddy issues. As a kid, he searches for his papa in the multi-bedroom big house. Balbir Singh, played by Anil Kapoor, is the father and he's the richest man in India, and he has no time for his son. Yet the son adores him and refuses to hear anything against him. Years later, when Ranvijay meets his childhood sweetheart at her engagement ceremony, he does his best to break it up. "You have a big pelvis, you can produce healthy babies," he tells her, and convinces her to go for the alpha male, which is him. His love interest is played by Rashmika Mandanna, and she gets convinced, and the two get married and go to the US and also come back in a jiffy because there is a violent attack on Papa. Meanwhile, considerable scenes and lines are dedicated to their copulation as to how and where the deed should take place. Then the violence is unleashed when dozens of men are shot at a seminar. A beardy man also kills someone just the way Anton Chigurh kills the policeman in the opening scene of No Country for Old Men. Even the top angle of the camera is the same as the Coen brothers film. Now the beardy man otherwise wears fancy clothes, but when it comes to giving a speech in Papa's factory, he dresses up in grey overalls like the workers while the senior management is still in their suits. He has all the money and power in the world, but he goes to Punjab to seek help from his distant relatives who look like farmers but also double up as assassins and bodyguards. There is also a scene involving itchy underwear, and that episode has no bearing on the story, but somehow the filmmakers thought that it was important for the audience to see that scene. There are equally ridiculous and irrelevant scenes as the film progresses, involving a yagna followed by a prayer meet in the church. Meanwhile, a woman named Zoya, played by Tripti Dimri, shows up and Beardy Man randomly hooks up with her, giving us some very cringeworthy moments, especially when he brings it up with his wife. The villain here is Abrar, played by Bobby Deol, who is another distant relative, and he resides in Scotland, and the villain in this film makes a rather late entry. In the climax, black-colored SUVs keep going round and round a private aeroplane on the tarmac, which eventually results in two shirtless men fighting it out. After slashing Abrar's throat, Beardy Man returns from Scotland to India faster than you can get to Panjim from Porvorim. Finally, it all comes to an end when father and son have an emotional conversation and indulge in some roleplay. I almost forgot the scene where the villain slashes a guy's face and gouges his eyes out during his own wedding. And with the blood on his face, he takes his wife to consummate the marriage, and once he is done with her, he also calls his two other wives in the bedroom. The world which the filmmakers have created is weird. I wish it was intriguing, but this is just plain weird and lacks any conviction. The background music in the film is horrendously loud. Of the cast, Ranbir Kapoor is first rate. He infuses considerable life in his character and he is ably supported by Rashmika Mandanna. But on the whole, this line from the film summed up my sentiments. कौन किसका बेटा है, कौन किसका पोता है, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. This film left me cold and indifferent, and it is a 3-hour 22-minute movie. When I walked in to watch the movie, I was clean shaven, but when I walked out, I had a beard which was almost as big as Ranbir Kapoor's. I'm going to go with 1.5 out of 5 stars for Ranbir Kapoor's Animal. Watch this film at your own risk. Well, that's what I thought of the two films released this week. Do let us know what you think. Do write into us. Our address is features@prudentmedia.in. And I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.
आज गोंयांत डिझेलाच्या धुंवराक लागून कितलेशेच प्रदूषण वाडलां. हवेन वाडलेल्या कार्बनाक लागून लोकांक श्वास घेवपाक त्रास जाता. अरे डिस्टर्ब करू नाका रे, राम असो. जशे व्हडल्या व्हडल्या शहरांनी प्रदूषणाचो लेवल वाडला तशी दुयेंसांय वाडल्या. अशीच परिस्थिती आमच्या गोंयांतूय येतली काय असो सगळ्यांक भंय पडला.
अरे बस येता.
अरे बस येतली जाल्यार गोंग 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 करून आवाज करतली, पेरे 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 करून हॉर्न मारतली. कळ्ळें मरे? हे कितें रे? आवाज जातो ना, मुरय ना. कसलो चमत्कार?
चमत्कार न्ही, गोंय सरकार पोल्युशन फ्री इको फ्रेंडली इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस धांवतात गोंयच्या रस्त्यार.
कदंबा ट्रान्सपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशनाच्यो ई बसीस विथ फुल्ली एअर कंडिशन, 40 सिटिंग कॅपॅसिटी, USB सॉकेट्स, रिजनरेटिव्ह ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम आणि प्रवाशांच्या सुरक्षे खातीर एमर्जन्सी बटन.
कदंबा बसी आमकां जितल्यो फॅसिलिटीज दितात तितल्योच फॅसिलिटीज म्हाजी बस ह्या स्किमी अंतर्गत जवळ जवळ 25 प्रायव्हेट बसी आमकां दितात. म्हणजे स्टुडंट्सांक कन्सेशन, सिनियर सिटीजन्सांक कन्सेशन आणि कॅन्सर पेशंट्सांक फ्री ट्रॅव्हल. इतलेंच न्ही, प्रायव्हेट बस ओनराक सुद्दां ह्या स्किमींतल्यान खूब आदार मेळटा. आ करून कितें पळयता, आतां उलय.
आता किती उलो? भिवपाची सोड, आता उलोवपाची गरज ना.
शुद्ध श्वास, आरोग्यदायी प्रवास, आरोग्याची हमी गोंय सरकार पडचो ना खंयच कमी.